All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. What's going on, everybody? How is it going? We got the jazz going in the background. I'm going to restart this one. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome into the stream tonight. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. Thanks so much for joining me here on this occasion. My name is Michael. Today is Monday, April 28th, and we're back, what do you know, learning some Python, working on some code, teaching ourselves some code, whatnot. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in, everybody. All right. Without further ado, let's get this started. I want to work on the project, and then we'll go ahead and get something else started here. All right. All right, today's gonna be like a lot of learning. I'm gonna really try my best to get something going here for this project. At least work through some ideas with ChatGPT and talk through at least how I want to structure this, how I want to go about building this further. We're going to really kind of take today to kind of fine tune some stuff and get hopefully something working here. So let's get this show on the road. Welcome in, everybody. Okay. So let's go ahead and we need to style. So right now we have the body, right? We have the header section is flex. And the content section main is flex. Content section left, content section right. So let me remove this. And let me give this space around. Right. Perfect. Okay, there was a video I watched. I want to take a look at it again. Hold on, let me see if I can find it here. CSS flex. No, it wasn't that one. It was this one.
Have you ever struggled with overflowing elements or weird resizing behavior in CSS and you just want to be able to create these awesome responsive layouts? Well, then let me tell you, today I have something really, really special for you. I did some research to find out what is the best piece of information we can teach you in CSS. And here it is, a complete
Okay, so we already know, I watched this.
Here, all the spaces are the same size. And now finally the gaps are perfectly balanced, as all things should be. And of course, all of these values are completely flexible. They adjust perfectly when the size of the container changes. And that's the whole point of using Flexbox. Theoretically...
Okay, so we're going to justify content space, we'll say space evenly. There we go. Now we give align items center. Okay. So this div is in this section here. Okay. Space evenly, align item center. Now for we want to give the padding on the right and padding on the left, or margin left 10%. And we'll also do this for margin right. So now that's pushed inward a little bit closer together. Perfect. So then I think he also talked about a way to resize line content with gap. So let me do a border. And then we'll say it's 8 pixels solid, but we'll do the border in here rather. Okay, yeah, so now that's showing us this border of this flex box. Okay, and it has this margin on the outside, on the sides here. But our image starts to bleed, right? So let me see here. There's another property here he talked about. Let me see what.
Resized and...
So let's go here to our index HTML. We have our images being contained in the content section right. We'll first do it to the content section sub, right? So content section sub. We'll do display flex, justify content center, align items center, and then what we'll do is we'll give this a flex shrink 0, no, of 1. Now when we, so that still bleeds. sub. So then let's go ahead and go to the hashtag content section right? And we'll take all of these parameters, put them in here, and then we'll do this flex shrink by 1. So that bleeds still. So now if I do 0, content section right. So maybe I'll do it to this actual. Awesome, Solakin. Got my first coding job. That's sweet, dude. Hey, Eduardo. How's it going, man? Welcome in. Okay, so content section right. This is currently wrapping. Then it bleeds the image out. So let's do, let's do content section main. Can I say flex is a wrap? What is the wrap? Flex wrap? Wrap? There we go. Okay, so now that will wrap like such. Okay. But we want that image to shrink, which we'll figure out later, but that's okay for now. So if I remove this, no functionality is changed. No. So then what we'll do is we'll give a margin. We'll just give a margin of 10% all the way around. We'll say I want the margin of the actual div itself, of the content in the div. So that's padding of the div. So let me give a padding of 10%. That'll pad the inside of the div. Then it'll start to bleed. Display flex wrap. Display content spacing in the image center. So get rid of this margin that pushes the flex box to the edge of the screen. But we have padding inside the flex box to push these objects closer together. That's fine, I guess. What you working on, Eduardo? Oh, doing great. Just got off another live stream. Sweet, dude. You're really grinding away here. Michael, 100 men versus 1 gorilla. Who's winning? 100 men versus 1 gorilla. Oh, definitely 100 men, I think. In 6 games? 100 men is a lot of weight. Like if you think that's 100 times 100, like if you on average it's like 150 pounds times 100, right? So what is that, 15,000 pounds? So like just that alone could just weigh down the gorilla. Okay, so cool. Okay, let's stop worrying about the styling now and let's get this functionality going. Now that we have at least some kind of working style, let's go ahead and now get our functionality for this overall process here, right? I'm going to take this and I'm going to have my main div content section main here. Okay. Nah, deaf gorilla. Okay, so let's go ahead and now let's figure out this whole fast API crap. Okay, so this, remove this, remove this. Okay. This looks exactly like those lab sims teachers would make us do in high school. Yes, exactly. Like on those little like devices. Okay, so how can I use Fast API? So I'm gonna need your guys' help. So let's work together on this. Like let's learn Fast API together. How can I get Fast API? So I have some text box here within this overarching form, right? For a name and an RF value. The name is going to be populated as the data point for these individual compounds. And the RF value is what will be depicting the speed of this compound as it grows in relation to the solvent. So how can I provide the data points here, use FastAPI and the Pydantic to validate this information, and then generate right or receive the information and then generate a plot from that. That's my goal here. That's my goal for the end of the evening tonight. We got 2 hours until 10 p.m. So that's our goal here. I'll pin the message here. Goal. Use Fast API to receive, get, receive, user input for the graph values and generate a plot. Okay. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I have a form within my HTML here that I'm using a temporary action here. I don't have any action set up, but a post method action to put this to receive this data into the database or into the backend, generate a graph with the information, and then populate that information back. Okay, so let's go. Well, I mean, I don't really want. I want to look it up, but I'm gonna need to look it up. But should we just go straight to the? I mean, we can prompt, but we got to. I don't want it to give me the answer. We got to learn, right? So let's say I am trying to link my front end HTML page that has a basic form to my Python backend with FastAPI. I am pretty new to web dev and the like, so we'll need some teaching and coaching, not just giving me the answers. I am currently only have a main index.html and with the form, etc. Okay, let's see what they say here. Got it. I'll treat this like we're working together and help you build your understanding, not just give you code. Since you have your index.html ready, let's start simple and set some goals. Our first goal, serve the index.html from your FastAPI app so when you visit localhost 8000, you can see your form in the browser. Are you already, before we begin, quick check, are you already using Jinja 2, a template engine, or plain HTML? Is your FastAPI project already set up with Unicorn to run the server? I am using raw HTML and CSS for my index page, and am using the live server extension in VS Code to view my port. Here's what happens based on what you said. You have a raw index.html, not Jinja, not templating yet. Good for now. You're on live server VS Code extension to preview your page, but live server is just reviewing HTML. It's not connected to your Python FastAPI app yet. New mindset shift we need. FastAPI needs to serve your HTML instead of live server doing it. Step 1. Create a basic FastAPI app that can serve your HTML. Plan. Make a main.py for FastAPI. Use FastAPI and HTML response to serve your page. No worries about live server. Don't not worry about live server anymore. We'll run through Unicorn instead. Okay, so then let's go here. And we're in our virtual environment pip install Unicorn. Okay, we got Unicorn now. And so let's get off of this live server here. Hey, Distracted, what's going on? Welcome in, dude. Okay, create a main.py file next to your index.html in the same folder for now. Okay. And just to make sure you are ready, do you already have FastAPI Unicorn installed? Okay, good to go. Now let's write a basic FastAPI app to serve your index.html. First step, build a tiny FastAPI server in your main.py. Type this. I'll explain right after. Okay, let's see what they want us to do here. Okay, so in our main.py, we're going to import from FastAPI, import FastAPI. From FastAPI dot responses, import HTML response. Okay. So we have, it wants me to write out this simple GET request here. So we have at app.get, after we assign app to the FastAPI class, we're going to get our index with a response class equal to the HTML response. Async, and we're def read index. Okay, with open quote index.html. So we're going to use a package manager with to open index.html in read mode as file or as f HTML content is equal to f.read. And then we're going to return HTML content. Okay. What this does. Okay, FastAPI creates the app. App-get / says when someone visits the home page, localhost 8000 / run read index function. With open HTML index quote in read mode as f reads your raw HTML file as text. Return HTML content sends it to the browser. Notice we use the HTML response so FastAPI knows it's HTML, not JSON. Next step, run your FastAPI server. From the terminal menu, write this. Unicorn main app -- reload. So if I click on this, copy this into Chrome, cannot be reached. Then in my browser, go to this. Anybody know what's going on? Okay, let's inspect here. Console. Error loading, you cannot import quote main. Oh, so I need to, do I need to say import? Huh. Called main. Just read index here. Error, so I got an error here. Started loader process. Error loading at ASGI app could not import module main. So do I need to go like this, clear it, go to, so I need a CD to main. CD source, CD, templates. Oop. and then cd main. Oh, we're in templates. Now do I do load? If I come here and copy this, I should see the network here. No, still not working here. Dang it. Dang it. Let's go. So I was getting this error, so I was getting copy, getting this error here. What does this error mean? Nope. You're doing, let's work through it carefully. It means you, of course, can't find the MyPy app or the app inside it. Okay, so we did need to cd into templates, right? Here, now we'll go, whoops. Oh, whoops. Shoot. Okay, so let's put main into my source. We'll put main outside here. Okay, let's go like this. Let's go, now we have this. Okay, so now let's go, now we have main there, so we'll do, this is going to be source slash template slash index.html. Right, so now if we run this, no module FastAPI, module not found. Let's go here. Let's go. Let's do this one here. This pip freeze. Just added Jinja, UV-corn. Okay, so I guess FastAPI isn't installed here. There so now if I go here. Okay, now I think we should have gotten it. There we go. All right. Cool. So now we'll fix this image source here to be source slash templates slash source slash copy relative path. Here. No. Copy path. There. No file. Huh. In there. There we go. Now we're getting it. Why was I getting it here, but I'm not getting it here? Huh. Okay. Hey, Magnet, what's going on, man? Sorry, Michael needs to have to make this work. Yeah, that's what we're trying. That's what we're trying to learn. Hey, Skill Game, what's going on, dude? Okay, so we have this, but it's not generating our image for some reason. Let's try to abort it, reload it here. We'll copy this. Not found. Error 404 to be a fake icon HTTP1 not found. Let's see what this says. You can search that online. Okay, so let's keep moving here. Okay. Okay, I got it running in Chrome, but all my styles went away and my image isn't displaying anymore. As normal expected, because when you're using live server, it serves everything HTML, CSS, and images automatically. But now FastAPI is only serving your indexed HTML. It doesn't yet know how to serve your static files like CSS and images. Okay, you need to teach FastAPI how to serve your CSS and images. In web dev, files like CSS, JPEG, PNG, and JS are called static files. FastAPI can serve them using a special setup called static files. Here's the plan. No rush, just follow me step by step. Create a static folder in your project directory called stat. Okay. So we have source. Let's go here. We'll create a folder called static. And move your CSS files and images files inside of static. Okay, so we'll have img, and then we'll have CSS. Okay, so static has images and styles, and that image will go there. So this will be into static slash img slash testplot image. This isn't being generated. Source slash static. So we're currently in this. We need to come outside of one. I always forget how to do this. So we need to go, is it dot? Is it slash? Relative path. How does that not come up if that's a relative path? Hey, we got a raid from Zed Shah. What's going on? Thank you guys for joining me. For all those that are new, my name is Michael. I'm 26. I got a degree in human biology and a minor in chemistry. We're currently trying to convert our thin layer chromatography simulator into a web app or some sort of web accessible simulation, so that chemists or whatever, or students can simulate these chromatographies like they would in their lectures, but on the web here, or in their labs, but on the web, and be able to kind of play around with things and create these plots that I've generated here. So that's our goal here for today. But this web stuff is no joke. There's a lot of stuff to it here. Where was I in my main? Trying to figure this out. So how do I get my image to still be detected by my main, or I'm sorry, by my HTML? So if you dot testplot image, that doesn't come up. Is it dot testplot image? Doesn't come up. Dot slash. I don't even know. How do you go back in a... Thanks, Zed. I appreciate you joining me again. How's it going, dude? Hey, Sticky, what's going on? It's 8:18 p.m. here. Not too late. All right, let's keep going here. Set up the statics folder. Update your HTML links. Mouse and command. Okay, let's move forward. Oh wait, it said update your HTML, mount static file. Restart your, okay, so we have to restart the, we have to restart the Uvicorn server. Right. Why am I getting our styles? If I click on this, I still get this not test plot image not found. Get source CSS styles not found. So these are these errors I'm getting. So it's not getting my stuff. Source CSS. Oh, okay. So I need to update my HTML link to pull from the static. Source static CSS styles. So let me take this, go down here, here. So this is going to be image / test plot image. There we go. So you have to do you have to prefix the directory source with the /2. Okay. There we go. Now if I go here and then do this and click this, I'm not getting any styles still. No one's ignoring you, Norpie, dude. I'm just trying to work through this. Man. People on the internet can be sensitive sometimes. We're just chilling, trying to work through this, learn how to do it. Yeah, we got it here, Eduardo. We got it. Nice. Here we go. Okay, let's keep on moving. Thanks, Duke. I appreciate you. Thanks for coming in, man. How you doing, Duke of Cool? All right. In your form tag, do you already have an action and a post method? Okay, so I do have an action in my form here, but I just have it as temporary action. So we'll do /submit. Okay. It means the form will send its data to the /submit function. And post means we'll post the data, not just get it. Okay. So I'll give it my form here that I made. Oh, I'll give it my form I made. This is my form. How does it look? Awesome, thanks for posting it. Let's walk through it carefully. Good things about your form: you're using the submit perfectly, the method post. You have multiple inputs for descriptions and RF values exactly what expected based on your TLC simulator idea. Small issues. Important to fix so it actually sends data. Your input elements are missing the name attribute. Okay. The name is what actually gets sent when the form is submitted. ID is for styling and linking labels, but name is what is posted. Okay, so we have to add in a name label into these inputs because the name is what gets associated as the post value. Okay, the post like variable, I guess, right? So let's go quickly. Let's go up to the top here. So we have our compound container number 1 here for this compound 1. Let's give our input here a name equal to compound description 1. Now, is it best practice to have these in underscore? Yes, it looks like they're wanting us to put these in underscore because these are what's going to be put into Python. So we'll do compound 1 description like this. And then we'll take this name, we'll go over to compound 2. Oh no, hold on, we need to add it into our RF here, so the compound 1 RF. Okay, and so we'll come down here to compound container 2, into the input here for description, we'll place this compound 2 description, compound 2 retention factor. Okay, now let's do the same thing here for 3, compound 3 description, Compound 3, retention factor. Compound 4 description and compound 4 retention factor. And then we'll put these right here as well. So name, we can paste it. Compound 5, lastly, description, compound 5, retention factor. Cool. Props to you for wanting to learn. Thanks so much, dude. I'm just out here chilling after my 9-to-5 job as a formulation chemist. So I have a degree in human bio and chemistry, and I work as a chemist where I formulate biological controls in vast quantities, and those get bottled down and siphoned into vials for patients and research use. So yeah, I've been teaching myself every day for about 10 months now since I started. Thanks so much for being here, you guys. We're currently trying to get our thin layer or paper chromatography simulator, a kind of basic general chemistry experiment that undergraduates do. We simulated it here using Matplotlib and some basic math and some animations, and we're trying to get this to be a web format or display it on the web here. Yeah, I don't know why he was upset that I wasn't ignoring him, Tim. I was just, people get mad when I don't like directly respond. I try to respond to everybody, but I I was responding to him, but I don't know what happened. I don't mean any harm. I'm just trying to learn. So I'm trying to take it easy here. Yeah, so Alex, just a quick description. So for those that don't know what thin layer chromatography is, it's really simple. So imagine that this plane or this white square is a piece of paper of a special type, and it has a certain charge associated with it, like a polarity of a positive or a slightly negative charge. And so when you dip it into some sort of solvent represented by this black, if you know any like compounds or physical properties of liquids, they will travel up mediums, or they will kind of go against gravity and travel up through mediums. Like if you ever watered plants by using a string or something like that, it's a very similar concept. So what we can do is we can plot unknown compounds of various either purities or polarities or various other data points to track for on an x-axis, and then dip the paper into the solvent and let the solvent travel up through the medium. As it travels up, it'll pick up these compounds and push them across the plane, right? Across the piece of paper. And based upon the compound specific, polarity or whatnot, they will travel at various distances. So as you can see, the blue here is the most polar molecule out of all of these because it is traveling up, the fastest, not very fast compared to the solvent, but because these are randomized. And then this one is very, very non-polar. It's not even moving also. There's like a lot of anti-charge going on here, unlike charges fighting against each other. I understood nothing you said. The only reason I passed high school chemistry was a paper got leaked the day before. Is it capillary action or another force? Capillary action, I'm not sure if it would be capillary action. I think I'm not sure if polarity falls under. I can't remember this nuances of it, like electromagnetic forces. I think it might be a part of those because these are attractive forces, like electromagnetic forces of polarity of like compounds. And then you'll see if their compound has like certain purity imperfections, the imperfections will be spread out and will be basically ripped apart, and you'll see kind of like a separation of, like, let's say this blue molecule ends up here, but there's a subsidiary like purple molecule that kind of separates out below, right? So if you had the purple and the blue mixed, the purple would only be able to travel up this high, and you could see the separation directly, like, of the impurities. right? No, NordPy, I just like to look things up. I just like to I appreciate everybody's help. Everybody's help is super appreciated, and I love everybody's inputs. I appreciate you being here, NordPy. You're awesome, dude. Thank you for being here and helping me. Okay, let's keep on moving. So we're trying to get this into the web format here. No worries, man, NordPy. I appreciate you. You're awesome, dude. You always come in here and give good advice. Okay, let's keep on moving here, everybody. If you guys aren't in my Discord, link down below. Get a roadmap and of all my learning PDFs of books, everything I've got for free, all outlined for you in there, and just chat with me offline and hang out and network. The AI code thing you've never seen before, this is just ChatGPT. If you download the ChatGPT app and then in the settings you can enable a option space spotlight like search like in Mac OS, you can do option space and you can do a hot search on ChatGPT. Since how many days you've been learning Python? I've been learning for about 10 months now, so a little less than a year. Yeah, I honestly don't have a lot of familiarity with capillary action, so I'd have to look it up. Yeah, it's using I don't know, it's using like emojis. I don't know. It's definitely like no, it's all free. It's the free. I don't pay for it. I haven't paid for a single thing in my programming journey so far. Besides, I bought some books like online from Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace. Okay. Okay, let's think here. So, small issues important to fix. You have an input. So we gave a name to our inputs. Your buttons don't have a type submit on them. Okay, so our buttons need a type of submit. So let's go to our index HTML. We have our buttons here. Let's give these a type equal to quote submit for both of these buttons. Right? Okay. You might want different behaviors for randomized button, but now let's make one button submit the form. Okay, so let's make just the run button submit the form like it said. Add a name input and add submit to the run button simulation. Okay, so let's go ahead and give it my form now and say, okay, I made those changes to my form. How does this look? Excellent. Run simulation. Perfect. Your form will now actually send data. Mini coaching question for you. Important for next steps. When a form sends data to the server with a method of post, what format does the data usually arrive in? FastAPI needs to know whether it's receiving JSON, form data, or something else. What do you think it is here? Well, obviously it's form data. Because we are submitting a form, I assume it will want a form data param. Target, exactly right. When classic HTML form method post is submitted, the browser automatically sends the data as application-xww.form URL encoded, aka classic form data, not JSON, not multi-part. Meaning, on the FastAPI side, you'll expect form fields, not JSON. So you need to use the form from FastAPI to grab these fields. Coaching moment. Here's a conceptual next step. No code yet. You will write a app.post/submit route. Inside it, you'll define each field you expect using the form. Then FastAPI will automatically read the form data in your function. Okay, so it's different from this field then. So we're going to write a function here called @app.post, and this is on type, or on the submit link, right? And then response model, any. So this is response model is going to be form. Do I need to import form from FastAPI? Yes. Okay, so we give it a form. Okay, so then this submits data. I don't think this will have any async associated with it, but I'm not sure. Let's just get moving. Let's just keep typing here. So def, this is going to be submit form, I guess, right? And then we are going to say how many pieces of information are being submitted total, not fields per compound, but total across all compounds. So we have 10 instances of data being submitted, right? Sorry, I get caught up on some chats here. It called my question. Yeah, it does have like slang to it, right? Yeah, an action attribute on the form. I think I have one. Yeah, submit here. Thanks for coming in, test use. I appreciate you so much for joining me for a little bit. Thanks for coming in with your time. You're awesome. Let's get caught up on the YouTube chats here. Sorry, you guys. Hey, Kanta, how's it going? Welcome. Anarban Mandal, capillary pressure. Okay, got you. Oh, okay, got you. That would make sense, right? Does this use template engine like Jinja? I think so. Not currently, though. I haven't implemented it yet. Can it separate stuff that is dissolved or only stuff that is in suspension? Well, I mean, it won't like move solid particles. Like it'll have to. I haven't really. It's been a long time since I've done these platings, but normally you would plot a liquid, right? And you wouldn't plot a solid compound. I mean, you could pre-dissolve it in solvent, right, and whatnot to get it to separate out of the solvent into whatever it would be. Yeah, Kanta, join me here. I have a Discord link down below where you can get access to a complete roadmap of my learning so far for free. D8 explains, stay in your domain, but don't increase competition. You're funny, man. I appreciate you for coming in. You're awesome, man. My dad has been trying to hire like 10 new senior devs. Nobody can pass the simple tests he gives. No, I've only done Leet code with Python so far. I've only solved about 51 problems or something so far. Thanks for coming in, Sticky. Appreciate you. Now that I created my mail parser, which handles 8.5K mail in less than 2.5 minutes, the ugly part starts writing tests so I can clean it. Nice, dude. You should post that in the Discord as like a project in the showcase. Okay, let's keep pushing. Okay, so I'll give it this. I say, I started to write this. You're so close, but small correction needed. Form is not used as a response class. Form is used inside the function parameters to tell FastAPI what to receive. Okay. It's not used as a response class. Think of it this way. Response class equals to how your server responds back, HTML, JSON, plain text, etc. Form, how your server reads the incoming data from the request. In your case right now, you're receiving data, use form in your function parameters. You're probably sending back a basic thank you or redirect. So response class could just say default or HTML response later if you want. So def submit form. Compound 1 description equals form. Each form is one of your accepting fields. You're not putting form in the response class, you're putting it next to the input you want to read. Okay, so in our submit form function here, we write compound 1 description we say this is a stir and it's equal to a form and it's required. And then we give a compound 1 RF in the form of a float which is equal to a form, and that is also required. So now we'll take these, copy them down 2, 3, 4, 5 times for 5 different elements. 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, and 5, and 5. Would you like me to help you skip step by step? Okay. So we're going to return pass, or we'll return quote, got it. So what does that do essentially? That's my question. It's like, so that's exactly the structure you want. You correctly match name attributes with the HTML inputs to the function parameters here with the form. When the form is submitted, FastAPI will grab each form field by name, automatically parse compound X RF values as floats, hand them to you in the submit form function. Now you can do anything you want inside this function. Save the data, validate it, return a new page, redirect, or just print it for now. So inside your smartphone right now, instead just return got it, tried, return this message data received. So you can see the server receives values. Okay, so let's have it do this then. That's what I thought it is. I'm not sure if the ... means it is required. Man, as a developer, it's tough working with domain expert people. I don't get a word they say, and if the topic is complicated like medical related or finance. Oh, interesting. Do you guys often, like, is that, like, pretty common in the field? Like, developers. So for instance, me example, like I have a degree in human biology and chemistry. I work as a professional formulation chemist. I have almost 4 years of experience working in this field. Now, do you say that there's a lot of developers that come in from these tangent fields that then bring in this expertise that then develop tools, and so then when they utilize you, it's difficult to get on board with what they're saying because they have expertise not only in the field that they're coming in, but they're also incorporating that into programming? Is that what you were kind of referring to? That's a really interesting take, Abhishek. What's funny is he already did. The first time I tuned in, he was basically solving make change, which is a test that asks you to print 1 to 100 represented by the least number of coins. Well, dude, Salakin, if your dad wants to give me a call, I'll take a call. Thanks everybody for being here. I appreciate you all for joining me and following along. We're on the grind for 2K on YouTube here. Duke of Cool said, I don't want to impose, but would be willing to offer a help explanation for some things if you're interested. No, for sure. If you have something you want to input, like, feel free to. I'm completely novice at this. I'm completely not susceptible, but I don't know what the word is, but yeah, no. Give me what you know, and it'll just help me learn faster. Well, let's do this together. I thought I read somewhere with it the dot dot dot. What does this dot 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 mean? Like in the field dot dot dot. Like with this field dot dot dot. Doesn't this mean that this is required? Like a required field in this comp for this base model? I can't remember. I thought I heard something, read something like that. I'm a package developer. I learned front-end development to communicate with clients for approval, trying to develop a skill set in some way. Hey, dude. Thanks for coming in. Hey, Battle Gnome. It's easier for me to understand the concepts they explain. They have overlap in both software and the domain we are trying to build an app for. We're using FastAPI, Coco Brown. That's what we're trying to learn right now. Okay. Eventually, you'll probably want to think about grouping compounds together into a list or dict to make them easier to work with, but for now, one step at a time. Right now, your run simulation button submits the form, but your randomized, but what should it do? Also submit. Okay, so let's exit out of this for right now. Or no, I'm not going to exit out. I want it to quit out of our current conversation. So let's say I give it, so let's reload our current instance of our guy here. So unicorn main. Form data requires multi-part to be installed. Python multi-part with pip install Python multi-part. Okay. Okay. Get static style is not found. Get source. So it's still not getting my styles from the static folder. Is that normal? No, I'm not, Battle Gnome. I've only been doing this for about 10 months here, so we're trying our best to. There's just so much to learn, so many tools, and it's just never ending. Okay, so if I give test, 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 I give a value here, and I print run, I hit. Okay, so we got it. Okay, so that ran the submit and redirected us to this JSON page. Okay. How do we do that, Nora? It didn't give me any details on it. Oop, whoops. No, this is just HTML I've rendered out here. So my initial page is here, but my initial styling, if I run it through live server here, right, this is what it looks like. This is how I've styled it. Don't mind the block. The box is just for me to know where the div is. But this is how I styled it for right now. And so, but I'm not getting any styling here yet. It's getting my image. Try image in your HTML. I think it's getting the image. Like if I command it, it's getting it. Thanks, Solak, and I'll see you for tomorrow. Thanks for coming in, dude, and sharing your input. You're awesome, man. Okay, let's read. Send this link here. How do I go to this message? How do I go to this message? Crap. Can't find it. There we go. is from static files. Okay, so we need to declare in FastAPI the static files, the directory. Okay, so there's so many imports from FastAPI dot static files import static files. Okay, and then below our FastAPI instantiation here, we have app.mount /static, and we're going to put this to static files directory equal to static. Do I have to give the actual directory link here? And then name static, like such. So now if I refresh, well, let's just go directory static doesn't exist, so it might want that other one. Okay, so it wants the path here of /source/static. That directory doesn't exist still. Sorry, I was missing you guys' chats. Okay, so then let me take this stuff out of, let's just go to root. Classes, static, template, plots. Now let's delete source. We don't need that. So we'll just go to classes.compound, import compound. And we'll just do static. So now we have in our main, just in our main directory here, we have our virtual environment folder, our templates, static, classes, and then just our to-do MDs and requirements, and then just my plots here. Okay, so then if I go, running out of real estate here, I'm gonna need to get another monitor. You can mount static files, use that in HTML. I don't know if that works with HTML, but that's how I did it with Ginger. Yeah, okay. So yeah, we got to mount static, exactly. So now let's go. Okay, so that worked. Now if I click here, internal server error. Open source template. So this is just going to say open templates. There we go. So it's still not getting our static images. Yeah, okay, so it's still not seeing them. I'm still referencing images in this source. Okay, so let's go to the HTML. Okay, yeah, so let's go here to static CSS styles, and then static image. Aha! Bada bing, bada boom! Here we go. I've been watching a lot of The Sopranos lately. Have anybody guys watched The Sopranos? Thanks for your help, Norpai, Battle Gnome, Eduardo, Abeshk, John. So you guys are awesome. Anybody watch The Sopranos? Hey, how you doing? Come on, now. My Italian accent's bad. Any guys Italian in here? Hey, Coder. Yeah, you should totally I highly suggest you join the Discord linked in the description of this video. It's a great place to start. It's my roadmap completely for free of how I started with Harvard CS50P, Python crash course, fluent Python, data structures and algorithms in Python, getting into web dev, little by little projects, all that jazz. Okay. So now, what's our next step here? Okay, we got that. Okay, so we're appropriately getting there. So now let's go like this. Let's do this. Okay, so we want to... This is our main function from the matplotlib. So I'm going to define a function called generate plot, right? Because I have generate data. This is the compound name, and get data. Okay, so now I'm successfully receiving the information back, right, from the... So if I go here and do test, and I do just one the values here, and I click run, I get data received. Perfect. So I'm receiving the data. So I need to generate a plot, which basically comes from this here, and I need to format my compounds into this format here. So let's take our generate plot. I wrote this about a week ago, so I gotta refresh my memory a little bit. Compounds list. Okay. So this is generate data. So generate data does all of this. Yeah, so that's generate plot. Return plot. So we would return plot. Right. So I'm calling the initialize here and the update here. Why is this giving me an error here? Because I don't have anything in main. So this is just going to be return generate plot right? So now I got to think about how I want to do this. Um, Now find out how to read the data you got from the form and see if you can print it back. Okay. Okay, so well, let me just go back here. I'm not gonna mess with this yet. Let's get out of this. Okay, so let's go back to our main. So we have all this information. So let's go ahead and let's return the information. So we'll say comp1. So what I'm going to do, can I put in here, are these like variables that I can access now? Right? Can I like wrap these in a list? User input. The user's going to input the values here to generate these plots. If you guys are here, leave a like on the stream. I really appreciate everybody being here and hanging out with me. Got a lot of people over here on Twitch, a lot of new people. Thank you guys so much for joining me here. If you're coming from some other field, you can try to learn coding to help you in your field. Okay. So what happens if I print compound 1 description and compound 1 RF? In a dictionary. Like so. Oh, okay, so you can access them. Cool. Okay, so now what we can do is I need to stick all of these in a list, basically, right? Okay, so let's do this. So what we're gonna do, all right, let's cook. Let's cook here, boys. This is fun. Okay, what we're gonna do is we're going to, in my plots.py, what I'm doing is I'm getting a list of compounds, right? And I'm generating a compound name, and giving a random retention factor. Okay. So what I might need to do is create a class called chromatography or plot, and then have that plot have various functions or methods tied to it for plotting random plot or parameter plot, and then inserting the compounds. So that I might have to make an object, but right now I just have this script here. So I can refactor it into an object itself for a plot, and then have it call these methods. So what we're doing here is we have a list of compounds. We have up to 6 of them. The first one being the solvent, with a y coordinate of 0 by default and an x coordinate of I, which is right in the range. So we need to... Okay, so we need to generate compounds. So let's do more. Generate. Okay. So we're going to generate a compound class for every thing here, right? So we'll say for I in the range, or maybe should I optimize it now and start doing these methods to generate the list and then yeah, go for it, Nor. Can tuples come from form data, or does that have to be static data? My app.get looks cursed. Is this, what do you mean? Hey Shin, how's it going? Yeah, so I need to refactor this down, right? And so I can't use main here. I need to create a class for the plot to have it be like to generate the plot, a method to, so I will have compounds, compound list dot append compound supplement. We generate 6 random compounds. So this would be the random method, right? Okay, so let's do that then. Let's try it. So we don't need to look at our HTML right now. So let's go into our classes. Let's add in a chroma class. Chroma.py. Okay, right, so we're going to do a class, chroma. We're going to initialize the class. Right? It's going to have compounds, which is going to be a list. What else does a chroma, or should we name it chroma or plot? Let's rename it to chroma plot. I like that better. Right, so we have a list of compounds that we need. We have compound name. So actually, you can have up to 5 compounds, and the 6th compound is the solvent. So check FastAPI example and its models. Yeah, I'll have to look at some of those. There's definitely some stuff I need to look up. Design giving me 2000s vibes. I see a lot of advancement since I've seen a lot of advancement since I last joined. Thanks so much, Shin. Internship. Awesome, dude. Congrats, Shin. Let's get some hearts in chat for Shin for the internship. Yeah, I'm really a big fan of kind of 2000s kind of styles vibes. You should be using the render template function, not IO reader, the HTML file. That's way you can also pass in some Python data to the template without JavaScript. Okay, what is the render template function in FastAPI versus Flask? I don't know the one in FastAPI. Instead of doing this this return HTML content. How should we structure this, Trevor? Lots of chats, so you guys are awesome. Sorry if I miss you guys' chats. I'm trying my best to keep up with it. It's supposed to be, Python has arrays and tuples are immutable, but I don't get how they use it as all. Okay. Ginger syntax. Everybody telling me new stuff to learn. Okay. All right, let's first see if we can generate a plot. Okay, so we have a chroma plot that's going to have, how do we want to structure this intake, right? So it's going to take in, it's going to take in 6 compounds, or a list of compounds, right? So then compounds equals to compounds. Okay, so then what we're going to do is if the name of the compound is solvent, how am I generating these initially? For I in the range of 6, append compound name solvent name. Okay, so I'm just dynamically generating comps with an I. Okay, and adding them in. So this kind of says, okay, I've already done this. Okay, so we need to add, let's do a, so then this is a compounds list. So then we need a def, sorry, for appending here, because this is what I want to do is format compounds. So we're gonna need a function to do this operation, and then a function to get data, and then a function to plot, right? Okay, so we have the chroma plot 2. We have compounds list. We're going to format compounds list, then self. And so what we're going to say is, we're going to take this here. Right, we're going to take this. And self.compounds there. Okay, and then so that's format compounds list. We'll say if self.compounds, we'll go ahead and format this. How do I want to name this? is formatted. Self.compounds formatted equals to none. So if self.compounds, you can run this and override the self.compounds formatted variable for this of compound.getData. Did I write this function, or is this a given function in Python? Compound name. Get data. Oh no, the compound is for my class. Get data. Right. Okay, so that's for the chroma plot format compounds list. And then you're gonna have a def take this. So we take this chroma plot. So this is going to be def generate frames. So we'll say self.x data dict is equal to none. Blank dictionary self.y data dict equals to a blank dict for key in self.compounds formatted. Okay, so we're generating this, calling the generate data function, so I need to pull that over. Okay, so we're pulling that, and this will get self here, dot generate data, self dot generate data, self dot compounds formatted, like so. Okay, so we generate so what we're going to do is when we initialize the chroma plot, we're going to format the compound list, we're going to generate the frames, and then we're going to set into this self dot x data dict equals to x data dict, and then the y data dict here. Okay, so that'll save those values into the chroma plot. And then what we'll do is after we save the values into here, we're going to generate the plot here with this guy. Here, take this chroma plot, put that there. Okay, so this is now gonna say, put this in, up above here, go def generate chroma plot. Given the current object. Okay, let's put this in, and then we need to take in our imports. So we basically just reformatted our script into a class now. So we can call upon this class to do all these functionalities of our script. So now we need to generate, so this is going to be self.compounds formatted, self.xDataDict, self.xDataDict, so we're going to have a self.frame count. It's equal to 200 here. I want to make this, get rid of that. And we'll put self.frame count here. Okay. Same here. Self.frame count. And then this is formatted compounds. Our compounds formatted. This is self.xDataDict and self.ydataDict and self.frame count. Okay. Cool. Let me get caught up here. Define the secret template. Yeah, we might have to, we'll first get this working with HTML, and then we can try to convert it to a Jinja after that. You can press Alt key and click with your cursor, and you'll get multiple cursor. Alt key and click with my cursor. Option, you mean? Oh. Oh, and then you can, and you can backspace all at once. That's cool. I didn't know that. Thank you. Thanks for coming in, Duke of Cool. Appreciate you joining me and following along. You're awesome, man. See you later. Have a good night, man. Okay. So now what we can do is in our main function, we're going to convert these into compounds, right? So let's say comp1 solvent is equal to compound so the name of this compound is going to be, right, solvent. The x coordinate is going to be 0. The y coordinate is going to be 0, and its retention factor is going to be 1.0. Okay, so that's our solvent. We're then going to have compound 1, which is a compound here. Our name is going to be an F string, and we're going to insert compound 1 description with a x value of 0, or x value of 1, Can I wrap these in a list? And use the walrus operator to assign them? No. Can I unpack them into a list, potentially? Not rich enough to afford a Mac yet. It's come to an end in my country, and I believe I'm convinced I might have to buy some new Macs. Nice, dude. Sorry. Yeah, option for Mac is what I was talking about. Thanks for all the subs, everybody. We're at 1872. You guys are awesome. My name is Michael. I'm 26 years old. I got a degree in human biology and a minor in chemistry, and I've been teaching myself how to code for about 10 months now. We're currently building a chromatography project where I am generating thin layer chromatography plots, and then we're trying to display them on the web. Okay, so we have compound 1. This is going to have a retention factor equal to compound 1 RF, right? The Y value is 0 to start. Perfect. So now we're going to generate a compound 2. Okay, generate a compound 2. We're going to go compound 2 description, X2, compound 2 RF. Boom. Generate a compound 3. Compound 3 description, X coordinate to start is 3, compound 3 RF. Compound 4 description, compound 4 for the x-axis and RF at 4. And lastly, compound 5 description, 5 on the x-axis, and compound 5's RF value. Okay? So now what we can do is we'll take all these and go, let's generate a from this is dot chromaplot import chromaplot. Okay, we're going to generate a chromaplot. Chroma plot is equal to a chroma plot class that we made. We're going to give it a list of compounds equals to compounds, and we're going to generate a list of compounds here by just taking all these variables and sticking them in an array. So you have solvent, comp 1, comp 2, comp 3, comp 4, comp 5. Perfect. Okay, and then you have a chromaplot. We're going to call chromaplot dot format compounds, generate frames, and generate chromaplot. So we're going to say format compounds list, chromaplot dot generate frames, and chromaplot dot generate chromaplot. And so now, if we give something on the web, our Python should generate this plot and it should pop up. Not on the web, but just in our Python. So let's see. Let's do like 0.9, 0.1, 0.25, 0.33, 0.21. Maybe? I don't know, maybe not. So is it waiting for a response here? Let's think here. No module found matplotlib. Oh, okay. What is it doing here? Module if not found matplotlib. Oh, okay. So I think I should. Okay. So let's go. Let me exit out of this. No module found matplotlib. Chromoplot.ply. Plot is dimmed out, which means plot is not used. It's happening in my chromoplot. Import matplotlib as plot. No module named plot. Or matplotlib. Okay, so let me go to my module here. Pip install matplotlib. Okay, now we have it in our main directory here. So now if I go here, there we go. Here, there we go. Okay. Now let's type in test. All right, moment of truth, you guys. All right, here we go. Moment of truth. Ready? Nope. I'm in a virtual environment. Terminating due to uncaught exception. See, I'm in a virtual environment. Starting a matplotlib GUI outside of the main thread will likely fail. Terminating app due to uncaught exception in the main thread. So let's go here. Okay, say, okay, I have set up my post, my app.post to receive the form from the HTML and then generate a matplotlib in Python, but I am currently getting an error. Here is my post function. So I got this was my warning. Thanks. That traceback is very helpful. The issue is NS window should only be instantiated on the main thread. This is happening because you're calling matplotlib's GUI functions, which opens a window inside FastAPI request, which runs off the main thread, and macOS doesn't allow GUI windows like that to be created outside the main thread. You should disable the GUI backend and instead use a non-interactive backend like ag to render the plot to an image file or buffer, not a window. Add this at the top of your chromaplot file. Import matplotlib, use ag. Use non-AEGUI backend for server-side rendering. You should also give it the exception too. Oh, you're talking about in here. So my function is gathering the form data into compounds, storing those in a list, formatting the list, generating frames, and generating the plot. I can't generate the plot and send it back to the web. You absolutely can generate the plot and send it back to the web. You're very close. You can't use matplotlib in GUI mode when you're inside a FastAPI server. Instead of popping open a window, you need to render the matplot with the figure into memory using a PNG or an SVG buffer. Send that buffer back as a response image to the browser. Generate the plot normally. Instead of plot show, save the figure into memory with bytes.io. Like this. Import matplotlib as plot. If my plot is a matplotlib animation, how can I preserve the movement? The challenge is that you need to preserve the movement. FastAPI can't handle live updates the way typical GUI would. Okay, so you can just do this in our generate chroma plot. Let's go to our chroma plot here. So in our chroma plot, we're going to go from IO, import bytes IO. So I have my plots here, 3 plots. I generate my plot objects. I generate my animation. Okay, so once you generate your animation, you go buffer equals to bytes IO. Annie dot save buffer onto the buffer format quote GIF writer pillow. We then do buff dot seek 0 plot dot close fig. Yeah, it's an animation, so we're having to generate the GIF here, but save isn't working. And then return buff. Should be Annie.save buff format equals quote GIF writer pillow. So then we go to our main and then in the submit we're going to generate chroma plot. Buffer equals to this. Then we need to import streaming response. From FastAPI dot responses import streaming response. So we generate the buffer and then we do return streaming response. The buffer itself, media type equals image slash GIF. Change to video review formats. Okay, let's try it. Not yet, AZ, but I do currently have an open source project live on in my Discord. I wrote my CS50X final project, which is an entire small business manager suite or kind of business ledger automation project. I wrote that in completely in Python with a full GUI using Tkinter. So go check that out. I have a demo video on my channel now, and we did a pull request, review over the weekend, and we merged in our first pull request. So go check that out and contribute to it. Let's collaborate. Join the Discord link down below if you want to collaborate on projects. Get access to all of my resources, from books, PDFs, my weekly notes, weekly updates on courses I'm taking, personal notes, everything I give to you guys completely for free, transparent in my learning. And in the HTML, so you need to return the streaming images. And use an HTML. use an image tag with the source slash path the route that will return the streaming response. So if I just return a streaming response right now, what happens? Let me go here. Right, let's go here. Okay. Test, 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 test. 1, ergo, 0.9, 0.8, 0.7, 6, 5. Run simulation. Terminating due to uncaught exception of the type. The main thread. Runs in an easier. Use a non-GUI backend. You need to switch the backend that doesn't require GUI. Okay, so then we'll say in chromoplot. So we have from matplotlib as plot, matplotlib dot use, or we'll say import matplotlib dot use agg agg. Internal server error. Unexpected for keyword argument format. Save method for the image file does not accept the format keyword. The save method requires a format to be inferred in the file extension or passed through the fname argument. Buffer animation GIF. So rather than the format, it's just quote in. It will be a bit complicated for you to send animations as a response, but I will try to explain to the best of my capability. I think you could use graph npm package and feed it JSON data from an API. You could generate most of the front end. Huh. Yeah, there's definitely, seems like there's all sorts of different ways to like go about it. Test, test, test. 0.9, 0.8, 0.7, 0.6, 0.5. Internal server error. Writer. Okay, so let's just remove this. Maybe it's just supposed to be like that. If I run, argument should be stir or an OS path object. Return stir, not bytes IO. Main. It's not. Use a name temporary file to save the animation to disk. Huh. You will collect the data from a form, then you will create that animation plot, create a buffer of that plot, save it in memory with an ID, return a view with ID of that buffer. In the view, have an image tag that will call the get animation with that ID sent to the view. Huh. Yeah, I think that's probably what we're going to end up having to do, I think. So I'm currently doing buff.io, .seek. Okay, so we have buff.io. So it wants us to say with temp file dot named temp. So we're gonna go temp file. So we're gonna say with name temp file suffix quote gif delete equals false as temp file. Then you say any.save temp file.name. Writer pillow. And then we're gonna write this. So with open temp file dot name quote RB as F buff equals to bytes IO F dot read, and then you seek and return. Okay, so now if we reload this, raise value error message from E unknown file extension. Dot name temporary file suffix is dot gif. Okay, let's try it now. Temp file no attribute name. do you give a name parameter? No, you don't. So what is this temp file dot name? So what is the parameter of the save here? File name, temp file. I'll just say the name is going to be we'll just say plot, right? And then we read it as buffer and give it back. Unknown file extension. I need you can send basics for encoded images and use the JavaScript in the front end to convert it to images and display it. Temp file is the opened file. Save temp file as if you go back here, run it. Internal server error. Type argument should be a stir on OS path or for returns a stir, not temporary file wrapper. Huh. Temporary file wrapper. The error you're counting indicates my pause. Save method expects a path-like object, a string or something that can be interpreted as a path. Save. So this is my current temp file function. Temp file has no .name. When you pass delete file to the name, it will be created by when it's closed so you can access it later. What? Name. Yeah, I said that to it, and it. So temp file path. temp file. With open temp file. Path. Argument should be a string on OS path or object. This is not turning out good, boys. Passing the file path explicitly, which is available. Save file path. Name. Oh! Yo! So we're only getting the solvent right now. Honestly, I have no idea what I did here. Huh. It's on our plot. So. Just getting all that. Okay, so we got our plot here, but we're not getting all of the data. So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna say print chroma plot dot dict here. Go to here, run simulation. Should get a print here. Oh, here we go. So here's all of our data. Let's do print chromaplot dot compounds formatted. So if I go back, I run the simulation. Oh, I exit out of my current unicorn. So if I go test, 0.9, 0.8, 6, 5, run simulation, solvent, and only a singular compound. At 5, 0, and 0.5. Huh. Let's print chromoplot dot compounds. Okay, let's go back. Let's run the simulation. Okay, so here are our objects it's giving us back. So it's giving us our 5 objects back, but our so our chromoplot, we're formatting into a list. We're getting this information. Sorry. Don't they say the Django REST framework is better than FastAPI? I don't know. I'm just trying to get some practice. This is the first time I've ever used FastAPI. And honestly, I'm not really liking it as much as I liked Flask. Flask seemed pretty straightforward. But I don't know. Okay, so we're not getting all of our data here, which is interesting. Why are we not getting, because in our plots, if we run this plot, we're going to get a plot. So it's happening here. But I'm curious to why we're not. Well, let me go to main. Let me go to chromoplot here. So we're setting the compounds formatted. Right? We get the X and Y data of these objects based upon the frame count. So we're generating the chromoplot, we're saving the compounds as the list of compounds generated, which is the same thing that's happening in our chromoplot. Right, in our plot right here, we are generating a list and appending just the compound, the X coordinate, a Y coordinate of 0, and a random retention factor. So then we're formatting them here. We're generating frames here. And then we create a plot. So So our chroma plot is generating data, generate a chroma plot. The thing is our x-axis isn't even getting set, right? Our set x limit here is not even being set appropriately. So we're not even getting x values because it's going 1 plus 10%. So our x limit means that our xdict data isn't getting populated. So let's go to our main pie here. We want to print dot xdict data. So let's go back here and let's run simulation here. So then the info we got here was here. So our solvent has 0. Five 5.01, 5.0 is 4.9. Okay, so let's go. I don't get it. It's receiving all of these to a list. Seeing the compound descriptions. Print. They're empty. Why am I not getting values here? Okay, here. So I have my objects. So let me go to my compound. Let me go here, say for compound in chroma plot dot compounds. Print compound dot okay, so solvent, x coordinate, y coordinate, retention factor. Okay, so it's getting all the basic compounds appropriately are being generated in. Like, what am I missing? I don't get it. right? What part am I missing? So we have a solvent and we have the 5 compounds. These are the X values and these are the Y values initially. We generate frames for key in here. Key solvent. Generate data frame count. Generate data here. Already installed. I don't know why I'm not getting all of my plot here. We are in our original. Let's open up our plots here. Can you tell me where I went wrong when converting this Python script into an object? Here is the script. I can't find where I went wrong here. Let's go to our chroma plot. Here is my chroma plot. Are there no biochemistry jobs? Probably not really. Okay, so why can't I... This is a VS Code. Why aren't my plots generating? Chroma plot. So we have all the compounds. My generate frames is overriding these values. Y dict and X dict. Generate frames print chroma plot X dict values and then Y dict values. Back here, run simulation. They're empty. Why are they empty? Why are they empty? So that's obviously where the bug is they're empty. So why isn't our generate frames working? Okay, so here we go. Let's figure this out. So our generate frames. We found where the bug is though. Okay, so if the key is solvent, X data dict on that key solvent, Y data dict on that key solvent. We generate data self.compounds formatted key frame count. So the generate data takes in the compounds via a list, the data quantity, right? So if compound, we have X data and Y data. If not solvent, those got returned as the values for these objects. So then why isn't that working? Format compounds. We get the data for it. We generate data for, so this is where it's going wrong, is in this generate frames. It's not generating any frames for these. But why? But it's doing it for the solvent. Oh, if key is not equal to solvent, we're doing, okay, hold on. It's not equal to solvent, we're doing this. Key is equal to solvent, we're doing this, because solvent is true here. So let me print let me for one print the key. Make sure that they're going in there appropriately. So I go back here, I run the simulation. Didn't print anything. So now it's not even getting our solvent on there. What? This doesn't make any sense. Generate frames. Format compounds list. So now this should put it into the data. I should get at least a solvent now. Solvent and test. So I'm only getting 2 keys. Why? Might help too if you drag the terminal window to dock in the bottom instead of right side. That's a good idea. I don't know why though. It's so it's getting solvent and test, but it should be giving me every key. All 5 keys. So 4 key is self.compounds formatted. So let's go back to main and let's print chroma plot dot compounds formatted. Okay. Run simulation. So it's only getting my 0 and my 5th compound. But if I print chromaplot.compounds and I run that, I get all my objects. So why is it in my format compounds list function is this going bad? So format compounds list is self.compounds. Self.format compounds format is compound name, compound data for compound in self.compounds. That's what I was doing earlier. I was generating a compound with the name, x-coordinate, y-coordinate, retention factor. And then I was doing this compound name, compound get data for compound in compounds list. I currently don't have it public spoked. Oh my gosh, so I converted the plots.py to the chroma plots class and lost functionality. So this is my plots.py. This is my plots.py. And this is my chroma plot class. You've done a great job in canceling the functionality from plots.py into reusable class structure in chromaplot. That said, here's a detailed breakdown of what's solid and what can be improved. Framed or animation are cleanly separated distinct methods. You must call format compounds list and generate frames before generating compound. This isn't enforced or indicating the class, so consider calling both inside. It's meant to be all in one, or add a .run. You're modifying compound in place in the generating data. This reassigns compound but doesn't update the self.compounds format, so it's okay here but might lead to confusion or bugs if reused, and consider making it a copy. Compound data. So during my generate data function, doing this. Oh, but I specialize it, so. Huh. I don't know why this is broke. So let's go like this. Let's go. So we format the compounds list. Let's go for compound in chromoplot dot compounds formatted print compound. Solvent test, solvent test. Remove any prints that are on here. Solvent test. I don't get it. Solvent test. Or chromoplot. Format compound. What? This doesn't make any sense. For comp and formatted. What about just compounds? Print comp dict. So test x coordinate y. So there they all are. Why are these not being... Oh, they have the same name. Oh my gosh, that's it. They all have the same string name, so when I enter them into a formatted dictionary, it's being overrode for the last one. Ah, okay, so I can't do that. Test 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Names have to be unique. Now I run simulation. There they all are. And there's my graph. It was working the whole time. Ugh. So frustrating. It's just I was overwriting the names of each dictionary object or each dictionary key with the most recent test. Ah. What you mean, NorPy? Yeah, it didn't take. That took me a little while to figure out. I was really getting frustrated. I was like, what is wrong with my code? My class looks the same. Right, because I turned this plots pie into this class so I could use it by creating objects instead. And dang, man. So what we'll do is we'll add into the chroma plots in the generate plot. What we're going to add is a self.format compounds list, right? And a self dot generate frames. Right? And so then when we go into main, we don't need to call these two functions. We'll just call this one, and that'll auto call those other two. So if I go back and run simulation, let this load. Woo! Okay, so our next goal for tomorrow, then, you guys, our next goal for tomorrow is that I would like for our page to wait and then refresh and reload this image as the regenerated plot. So instead of opening up a new tab under the /submit path, right? I want it to just wait for the response and then override this image with the image that was generated from before. Yeah, NorPy, that's going to be the difficult part, right? That's going to be the hard part. NorPy likes watching my suffering. You guys are here, consider leaving a like on the stream if you're still here. I really, really appreciate all the support you guys give me, and it really, really goes a long way if you guys, throw a like. It's completely free. Throw a thumbs up just to help, YouTube keep pushing our content out there. Thank you guys so much. We gained over 22 subscribers today at 1882. Thanks watching suffering. It doesn't matter who, unless it's myself. So NorPy, is there any way off the top of your head before we sign off that you can think of that we could go about doing this? I want to keep the current, current structure, and then just override this image div with the image that we generated. And so I also have a question: is what are we exactly doing for this image generation? I was kind of just following what the Almighty Orb was telling me, but I wasn't really sure what actually we were doing. So, okay, what we're doing is we're opening up a temporary file using this temp file named. Okay, we're giving it a GIF suffix, and we're setting it to delete equals false, so we're retaining this temporary file upon close. We are then opening up the temporary file as read B, whatever read RB is, and then we are reading the contents of that file, which has the saved animation on it, into bytes onto a buffer. Then what does buffer seek do? Change stream position. Seek to byte offset position relative to position indicated by whence. What? Then we close the figure and just return our buffer. So our buffer contains our image contents just written in bytes. HTMX. What is HTMX? Hey, PC Explorer. Thanks for coming in. Trevor, no. NorPy says. We got some disagreements in chat. Yeah, no. Without a new tab, you at least need to reload. Otherwise, you need some JavaScript. Yeah, we'll have to use some JavaScript. I have no problem using JavaScript. So before, I have this dev index that I was using, and I wrote JavaScript to dynamically create these. So you could press, there was an add button, there was an add compound button, and you would press it and it would add another row, basically. And then you would get up to 5, and then the add button would become grayed out, and then the run button would become enabled at any point in time. Yeah, you have no problem writing some JavaScript crap. NorPy doesn't want to write JavaScript. All right, you guys. So if we go ahead and put in some random values such as, 0.25, 0.3, 0.75, 0.42, and, 0.1, and we run this simulation, now we get this, where we load, it takes in our stuff on the back end, and then it populates our graph for us here. Woo-hoo-hoo. All right, that looks pretty good. Nice. Woohoo! Okay, that was my goal for today, was to get the data to be received and then to generate a graph. So we successfully accomplished our goal for today, guys. We were able to use FastAPI to receive through so we use a get, right? Our get, what it does is just initially loads our home page. We'll probably need to use a render template or something and render out some Jinja syntax templating rather than doing raw HTML, which is fine. I'll just convert this into Jinja syntax using templates rather than HTML. That's okay. Just one step at a time. And then we have a submit where we're going to receive in the form of a form, HTML form, these variables. We're using these variables to generate 5 compounds and a solvent, and then generate a chroma plot based on that. Yeah, Trevor, it sounds interesting. We'll have to take a stab at it. Anyways, you guys, it's getting late. It's 10:45 here. I've been streaming for 3 hours and 10 minutes. My dog is getting tired and annoyed with me. I need to give her some pets and some love. I really appreciate you guys joining and hanging out with me this evening. It was a lot of fun being with you guys and hanging out and learning. I learned a ton just in general about FastAPI. Got a way better understanding of GET requests, of POST requests, of FastAPI syntax with the various imports and what you need with static files. We learned all about static files today, and then and we generated a chroma plot class. We reconfigured our plot script, right? This was the original script for generating the plots randomly. We reconfigured this script to now be a chroma plot class so we can create plot objects and then load those objects dynamically, just based off of user data and whatnot. So then what we'll do is I just still need to add in right here, this section here, we are generating a randomized value for every retention factor. So we'll add this as a method for our this will be a method for this class chroma plot. And what it will do is when they select this randomize simulation button, it'll fill in all of these values with dummy names and then populate the graph based on with randomized RF values and populate, and then just generate a new graph right then and there. So that's the whole plan for the randomized simulation. So we'll take care of that tomorrow, as well as try to get this to update currently live and override the current image. Yeah, Trevor, a lot of people seem to really push for React. It seems like a lot of people were pushing me to kind of learn that or try to learn it or whatnot. And do I have this submit as the? I don't think I do. No, I don't. Then why is it submitting that? Is my randomized simulation button doing something? Huh. Why is my randomized simulation button generating the plot when I don't have a type submit on this? Is it because it's contained in this div? Why is my randomized simulation button generating simulations? Because the whole form action is submit. Oh. So even if I don't have a type submit on the button, it'll still submit on that action? Weird. Well, you'd think that the button would just be dummy, like a dummy button. If it's in the same form, then yes. So then do I need to move this button outside of the form, or how could I distinguish this button to have a different type of action? Because I want this to have a different action then. It will submit, but for a different type, a randomized submit. Easiest way is to just move it out of the form. Could I do this? Could I detect which button was submitted? Right? Could I detect which button was submitted back to me and then use that information to do the simulation? No, I can't detect which button was pressed. It just does the action for the per the form. Okay. All right. Well, we'll have to get some JavaScript practice and add it in. I appreciate you, NorPy. I would focus on the fundamentals, to be honest, not React, master HTML, CSS, HTTP methods, get posts, and then use them. React is a different ball game. Yeah, I'm in no way, shape, or form ready to move on from these. I still am very, very novice at these beginner level, just raw HTML, CSS. I need to know these things before I get into like frameworks and stuff like that. And so I just want to make sure have a solid foundation before I move on. So I at least know what those more advanced or frameworks or whatever. I just know what they're doing, right? I want to know what they're doing on the back end rather than just blindly trusting them. You can add an event lister and prevent default action. Okay. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today. I really appreciate you guys being here and hanging out with me for the 3 hours and 15 minutes that we streamed. A really good stream session today. We got a lot done. We were able to add in a whole nother class of chroma plot, convert our plots.py into a chroma plot, and then we added in a entire get here or a post of posting this information and creating these plots. And so we were successfully able to generate and come up with generate plots from user input on a web form. So really cool. If we let it load here. Now we probably need to find ways to optimize our code a little bit better to have it maybe generate these plots a little bit faster and whatnot. But yeah, so that's what that. Look, we have our plot lib here running on the web. Pretty cool. Yeah, I got you, NorPy. All right, you guys. I've said it a million times, but I'm going to sign off here. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I'll be back around tomorrow around 7 p.m. PST, where I stream every single day, me teaching myself Python and various other programming languages and computer science topics. I have a degree in human biology and a minor in chemistry, and I work as a formulation chemist every single day from 9 to 5, and I stream every day afterwards at 7 p.m. PST. I'm really trying to make a transition here into tech and better myself, better my current situation, better my intelligence, better my knowledge, and better my skills in general. So thank you guys so much for being here and joining me. Please join the Discord link down in the description below, where you can get access to all of my resources for free and chat with me and network with me offline. And participate in the open source project. It's a great opportunity for us to collaborate together and really show like potential employers that we all can work together and really make something kind of cool. So thank you guys so much for being here. Check out that project in the Discord, and I'll see you guys soon. See you tomorrow. Bye, guys. See you, Norpie. See you, Trevor. Should we raid somebody? We only got 3 people in here. Oh, it's whatever.